Let me ask you guys a question. Do you like coleslaw? I mean, you probably wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't like coleslaw. Coleslaw is one of my favorite side dishes, especially in the summer at a good barbecue. Especially on a hot dog or a sandwich, coleslaw is top tier. Which is great because it's super easy and quick to make and it's low cost. Like a lot of things in life, coleslaw is mostly just prep work. We're going to start with one head of green cabbage. And we're going to peel all of the loose, soft leaves off of our head of cabbage until we're left with just the tightly packed leaves. Lay the cabbage on its side and cut off that end root piece. Lay your cabbage flat and then cut it down the middle. This hard white piece is known as the stem and it's not good eats. It's too hard and rough, so we're going to cut it out. Cut it out and toss it away. Lay your cabbage half on its side and then you can start slicing into your preferred thickness. I'm going to go pretty thin. Now I want everything on my coleslaw pretty thin and small, so I'm going to lay this on the side and cut it again the other way. And that should give us some pretty nice pieces. Add them to a bowl, then we're going to repeat those same steps with our other piece of cabbage. And as always, all the ingredients and amounts will be in the description below. And I'm curious, so let me know if you have a favorite store-bought brand coleslaw that you really enjoy, because in my experience, most of them are not that good. So let me know if you have a favorite. I'll definitely try to find it and try it out. Next, we're grabbing a head of red cabbage, and it's pretty much the same procedure. Peel off those soft, loose leaves. Cut off the root. Cut down the middle. Then we're going to remove that interior stem that's no good to eat. Then slice that red cabbage up nice and thin. And that's it for our cabbages. On to our next ingredient, which is going to be some shredded carrots. Now, keep in mind this recipe, the amounts that I'm prepping here, this will be enough for about 2-3 batches of coleslaw. But that's one of the good things about this recipe. You can prep and cut everything ahead of time, keep it separate in a tight storage in the fridge, and have coleslaw all week long. Then we're going to trim, wash, and dry our carrots. Then I'm going to lay down some parchment paper to make this a little bit easier. Grab our grater. And using the section with the largest holes, I'm going to start shredding these carrots up. Like 10 minutes and 4 carrots later, we got our shredded carrots. And with our parchment paper, making that super easy, we're just going to pick this up and add that right to a bowl. And there's our shredded green cabbage, red cabbage, and our carrots. Most of our work out of the way. Now we're going to do our measurements in our mix in a large bowl. So here's what I'm going to do. For one batch, we're going to add 3 cups of our shredded green cabbage. And to that, we're adding 2 cups of our shredded red cabbage. And then we're adding 1 cup of our shredded carrots. Then get in there and give this all a good mix. Now there's a couple of more things I like to add to my coleslaw. One of them is some green onions, and we're just going to slice these up. And I like the, like zestiness that the green onions gives to the coleslaw. And the other thing we're going to add is some Italian parsley, which we're going to rough chop, not too fine of a chop on this. And I like the flavor, but I also like the color it brings, the nice pop of bright green that it brings to the dish. After that, we're pretty much done with all the prep work, all the chopping. The only thing left to do is make our dressing. We're going to grab a bowl and some mayonnaise, the good all fat stuff. Then we're adding a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. And then some dry seasonings. We're doing salt, pepper, celery seeds, paprika. And again, check the description for the full amounts. And then for some sweetness, a tablespoon of sugar, or you could do honey. And I did not show it, that's my fault, but I also like to squeeze in a little bit of fresh lemon juice. Then we're going to give everything a good mix. And as our coleslaw dressing, honestly, one of my favorite dressings, period. And you probably know what's coming next. We're going to add the dressing to the coleslaw mix. Then you're going to give that a super duper good mix. And that is our coleslaw mix. I like to make this a couple of hours in advance, even a day before, because the longer you let those sit in the fridge, the longer those flavors will develop. So if you've got a party or a barbecue to go to and you're in charge of bringing a side or the coleslaw, just make this. I mean, this literally comes together in 15 minutes. You can do it the day before, stick it in the fridge, those flavors will develop. It'll be even better the next day. After your coleslaw is done, throw it in some airtight containers, and this should last in the fridge for about 3 to 5 days. And that's our coleslaw. Super simple, super tasty, sweet, crunchy, salty, tangy. I love it. And make sure you're subscribed, because my next video, I'm gonna do something fun with this coleslaw. And like I said earlier, you can chop up everything, keep that leftover cabbage and carrots in airtight bags or containers, keep it in the fridge, and you can have coleslaw all week long. Let's try this coleslaw. Crunchy, sweet, salty, tangy. And parsley and them onions, yeah, it gives it a nice kick. I'm double dipping, but I don't care. This is mine. That's some good coleslaw.